Hey guys, what is going on and welcome to today's YouTube video. In today's video, we are going to give an update on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. We are going to discuss potential trade setups that are developing for the both of them. Both of them have finally been seeing some volatility the past week, which was definitely an interesting week. We had a few very nice trades as well. Now, last week I couldn't upload because I was in Munich for about 8 days, so I didn't really have the opportunity to upload any videos, but fortunately for me I can still trade from my laptop, but unfortunately for you guys I couldn't upload any videos or record any videos from my laptop. But now we are back, so back with 3 update videos a week on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and also Forex will be one of our top priorities over the upcoming weeks. But in today's video we are mainly going to discuss Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, before we dive into Bitcoin and Ethereum, I want to discuss Prime XBT, which is sponsoring this YouTube video. They are offering the best opportunity, in my opinion, to trade Forex and commodities with your own funds. So you can trade Euro against the dollar, GBP against the dollar, you can trade gold, you can trade the S&P 500, you can trade the Nasdaq. All of the Forex and commodity pairs are available at Prime XBT to trade with your own funds. Definitely make sure to check it out. The affiliate link to their website is in the description. I would highly recommend them. And which is very interesting as well is that they are now also offering crypto futures trading on 8 different crypto pairs, and they will be expanding that to more pairs as well. So definitely make sure to check them out as well, guys. Now let's dive into the analysis for Bitcoin at first, because personally I'm thinking that we are currently trading in a very nice range. What we can see is that we have our first pivot over here, second pivot, and our third pivot. Now, currently, we can see that we have been sweeping the range high over here, right? And usually after you see a deviation or a few sweeps of that range high liquidity, you should get a move at some point towards the range low liquidity. Now, we did test the range low, but we haven't swept the range low yet. Everyone got extremely bearish over here. A lot of people started shorting over here, not realizing that we were actually near very important high time frame support, because we had this previous resistance area that was now turning into support. And we also had this daily order block over here acting as support, but nevertheless, people still started shorting. They are now getting wrecked really hard. People didn't realize that at some point we were going to fill this liquidity pool over here, right? Why is it such a nice liquidity pool? Because this drop off was really fast, and at some point they are going to recover these very fast and impulsive candles, right? Now, a lot of shorts are now being squeezed. We saw a beautiful local sweep over here that resulted in a move to the upside, in a very aggressive move to the upside, as we can see. Now, currently, we have to realize that this pump last night took place during the weekly transition period. It took place during the Asia session, and that is something that should never be trusted. In my opinion, in my experience, these pumps that we are currently seeing, if they take place during the Asia session, if they take place during a Sunday night weekly transition period, you should be extra careful. We knew there was a lot of liquidity resting above this high over here. I've been mentioning that liquidity multiple times. We also knew there was a lot of liquidity resting above this high. I've also been mentioning that multiple times. I was telling you guys my first long POI would be this area over here on the 2-hourly time frame. You can check back the previous videos. I told you guys first long POI was this POI over here. We can see that we tapped into that POI over here beautifully. If I go on a 1-hourly time frame, I can get a little bit of a better view on what POI to select. So I'm going to extend this slightly upwards, so we can see we tapped into that POI that I've been mentioning numerous times. Okay, so the tap into that POI on the 1-hourly time frame led to this shift in structure over here on the 1-hourly time frame. We got a pullback, and from there we took off. Okay, so beautiful price action actually over here. This was a little bit sketchy, but still we didn't break that internal low, so we continued our way to the upside. So beautiful price action on Bitcoin, exactly from the POI that I've been mentioning in the previous videos. You can check back the previous videos and confirm it yourself. Now, currently we have to be a little bit careful, because if I go on a daily time frame, and I switch on the 0.75 level, so the quarterly of this range, we can see mid-range being respected multiple times to the dollar accuracy. Also, the lower quarterly range beautifully being respected multiple times, as we can see every single time over here. Now, that means that we are trading in a valid range. We have to realize that over here is where we have a bearish daily fair value gap, right? And I expect the liquidity pool to maybe get filled as well. But we can also see that above the bearish daily fair value gap is where we have this bearish daily order block. Okay, so this is where the supply was coming into the market before this bearish drop off to the downside. Now we can see that currently this bearish order block is perfectly aligning with our quarterly range over here. And that is definitely a very nice confluence, and definitely a confluence that we have to keep our eyes on for a potential short play. We can also see that in the past, the daily candles were actually confirming this quarterly range level as a very pivotal area. Okay, so definitely something to keep an eye on. Also, if we are going to go from swing low to swing high, we switch on our Fibonacci retracement levels. We can see that we have the golden Fibonacci ratio aligning perfectly with our area of interest. Another confluence that we have to keep our eyes on. Golden Fibonacci ratio aligning with the quarterly range, aligning with a bearish daily order block. Now, we have identified a pivotal area of resistance, but there's something missing. What's missing is the fact that we don't have an inducement. And without that inducement, there's no way that market makers are going to be able to fill their orders within this area of interest. So personally, we are going to refine this trading idea on the lower time frame. If I'm going to extend this swiftly to the right, what my plan is to let the price develop an inducement. So I'm wanting the price to front run this area of resistance, then maybe have a little bit of a pullback, maybe even a fake break of structure in which people will FOMO into shorts. Where do you think those people will put their stops? They will put their stops above this high, right? Now, those stop losses will provide the liquidity for us to be able to fill our orders when we run into that liquidity pool that is now perfectly aligning with our area of interest for shorts. This would be a trigger to set some limit shorts to target, first of all, the mid-range, second of all, the quarterly range, and last but not least, the range low, where we have that unswept liquidity beneath the range low. If we want to treat this as a range, this is the way to play it. Let it form that inducement. Once it is being formed and we see the pullback, this is where we place our short limits, stop loss above this high, or maybe if safe stop loss above this high, target 1, target 2, target 3. Why is this such a clean trade opportunity? Let me show you guys what we did on the Ethereum price, because this is exactly the same trade. Now, a little bit different, of course, but also for Ethereum, we saw a very clean range. Pivot 1, pivot 2, pivot 3. Now, on top of that, we saw a deviation of the range low over here, or a sweep of the range low, which in fact should result in a move towards the range high. We got rejected around the mid-range. Now, I was telling you guys, wait for the price to form an inducement. We form this inducement, right? Sideways movement. People open long positions. Where do you think they will put their stop loss? Beneath this low. Inducement was confirmed. This is where I told our members we are going to set a limit order beneath this low around this order block on a 2-hourly time frame, right? This is now we are going to set our limit orders, and we are going to wait for a limit order to get filled. We set our limit orders. We can see we got literally filled to the cent accuracy almost. Beautiful sniper entry, and all of our take profit targets have been reached. Take profit target 1, 2, and obviously 3, which was this main liquidity pool that I've been talking about also in our previous videos. I've been talking about this multiple times on Twitter, on every single platform. And this is where you can see the call, exact entries, take profit targets, and stop loss shared in our VIP channel as always. Now you're probably wondering, okay, Guru, what's next for Ethereum? Now, like I said, we had this liquidity pool above the range high area over here. We have seen a tiny little sweep of the liquidity pool. Is that enough for market makers, for smart money, to load off their long positions, to load off their spot bags and to build potential short positions and sell positions? I don't think so. This liquidity pool over here needs to be properly mitigated. Okay, so we need to really dive into that liquidity pool, see signs of sideways movement and distribution over here before we can start looking for shorts. Okay, once again, if we also want to trade this as a range, we have to wait for a confirmed deviation above the range high before we can start targeting the quarterly range, the mid-range, and potentially even the range low area. So my plan for Ethereum is fairly simple. I'm going to wait for the price to push above this range high area. I want to wait for the price to distribute above this range high area. If I see signs of distribution and we reclaim the previous range with a bearish shift in structure, I will enter short positions over here, targeting the mid-range, targeting this liquidity over here at first, and afterwards I want to target this inefficiency pool over here. Okay, so I want to target this liquidity, and potentially even the range low at last. Okay, very simple trading plan. Until we start distributing above this range high area, I will try to look for some potential long positions on the pullback. If we go into our POI, if we shift structure bullish again over here, I will target the range high. This sweep, in my opinion, is not enough. I want to see a proper move above the range high area. I want to see proper signs of distribution, and that's my trigger to start looking for shorts. Until we see a proper move into the liquidity pool, I'm not interested in shorts for Ethereum. If I don't see signs of weakness over here, I'm also not interested in shorts. Wait for the right confirmation, wait for a bearish shift, wait for a bearish sweep followed by a bearish shift. Be patient, let the price action develop, let the trade come to you, and never chase a trade. This was the perfect example of never chase a trade. Let price action develop, let the inducement develop, wait for the sweep. This is your entry trigger and target higher levels. Now, if you guys do have any questions after watching this YouTube video on both Bitcoin and Ethereum, let me know in the comments down below. Also, make sure to check out our free Discord. The link can be found in the description down below. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday's video. Ciao, ciao.